Hey, Zokata here with a vintage story mod showcase. Today we're going to be checking out a mod called Oneroof by tui-smuggler. Link is in the description below. The Oneroof mod makes it easier to build roofs, as well as adding a large variety of roof variants and some new roof slopes as well. So without further ado, let's go check it out. So right off the bat, let's open up the creative inventory and check out all of the new blocks that this mod adds. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to type Oneroof, one word, and we'll see a large variety of roofing blocks get added, as well as a new tool down here called the Hatchet. As far as I can tell, all of the vanilla vintage story roofs are supported in this mod, with the exception of aged thatch. I think that just might be an oversight. Now, if we open up our handbook, go in here, the Oneroof recipes are balanced to the vanilla roof recipes, which I really like to see in my vintage story mods. I don't like new additions, new content to be too easy to create, to then make vanilla stuff relevant or kind of break the intended economy of the game. So this is a really nice balancing check that I'd like to see. So before I show you how to build all the roofs, let me show them off. So right here, this is your kind of standard, this is your standard vanilla roof slope. This is a double stacked vertical. See, it's kind of two on top of each other for one horizontal space. And this is your really high pitched one where it's three stacked for one horizontal. And then you have the opposite as well, where you have your two horizontal for one vertical, and then your three horizontal for one vertical. Building these all are pretty easy as well, but it does take a little bit of getting used to. So if this video doesn't make sense to you, definitely hop into creative and play around before you jump into survival and get frustrated trying to figure things out. So first, for a standard, let's say I wanted to do just a quick little square here. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, and then I want a corner block here, but there's no corner one roof block. So all I would need to do is place a block here, and it'll automatically turn this one into an outer corner. I can finish the thing off. Everything will just nice come around and wrap up together. Now, if I wanted to add a top piece to this, you'll see, okay, well, that didn't work. So what you have to do is a sprint click. I have my sprint down to shift. So if I say shift click, that I'm referring to sprint click to put down your ridge piece, your tip there, which is great. Now, if I wanted this to be, convert this to a 2 for 1 vertical, all I would have to do is place a block on top of the other roof blocks, and it'll convert it up into that. Same thing for the corners here. It'll automatically change the shape for the corners. And if I want to do it for the third variant, same thing, come in. If I aimed it correctly, huh? Place them on top, and just like that, we have a nice high roof. And then, of course, if I wanted to stuff, I can do that as well, and the ridges at top will match the style of the slopes going into them. And we can do the same thing for our long variants. If I want to do the 2 for 1, I'll just place it in front or behind. Show that off right there. I can place it behind as well, and it'll dynamically just change it to what it should be. And this is, I mean, look how easy this is. Now the corners can get a little strange, right? Because it knows a corner should be going on here. Building the corners out, kind of have to do a little something like that. And this is actually a good moment to talk about how I did notice that there were some issues with doing outer corners with the longer variants. But if you play around with it a little bit, there you go. You should be able to get it nice and clean. Particularly the inner corners I was having troubles with in my testing. Um, but you can see, and I'm sure there's an optimal way to place it. I haven't found that out yet, but you can get it really nice and clean to be like this. Now, so far I've showed the standard variant of the one roof blocks, but there's a dynamic variant as well. And if you look on the preview here at the bottom of the screen, you'll see that there's like a missing texture, and that's not a bug, that's actually on purpose. So I'm going to select my standard block here. And I'm going to do a quick little roof, and you'll see, okay, that looks normal. That looks about what we expected. But if we switch to our dynamic version and we place them down, you'll see that the inner texture, instead of being that red clay, matches the light mud brick underneath it. And if we change this to soil, okay, well, maybe not soil. Let's do blue clay brick. It'll match what's underneath it, what it gets placed on, which I think just looks super nice and super clean. And then of course, if we come up here and we turn it to one of the variants, it'll match that all the way up as well. Or it'll match it out. Or it doesn't match it out actually. But if we did this, it would. It'll match it out underneath it. I don't know if this use case maybe fits as much as this one, but you can see the appeal here for sure. Now, let's go back down to there and we'll finish this out real quick. And then let me show you the other sprint click feature, which is Eaves. So if I come out here and I want a little overhang, okay, that looks nice, I think. But if you sprint click, do a little half of that, which I think just looks so nice. And it'll work on the corners as well. You don't need to think about it. It's just fantastic. Now, if we go inside here, this is pretty much the only con about the mod. Oh, hell, if I close this up, huh? Actually. Now, this is the only con I have with the mod, where these the one roof blocks don't insulate roofs, which is really disappointing. In an instance like this, obviously, this is just like a little hidey hole. We could just, place a normal roof tip and it would be fine. But, if you're doing some elaborate high-pitched roof with it exposed on the inside, it's just not going to be insulated. So just keep that in mind as the one limitation. Hopefully this is something that's getting addressed by the developer. Hopefully the modding API lets him do that. Before we talk about the Hatchet, which is the new tool, I also want to show off the new wood trimmed variants as well. So as I place down this red clay roof block, we'll notice that it has some ebony trim on here, which is cool. And then as I place another block in between these two, we'll see the inside goes away, so we're only left with a nice trim. And it'll work with the corners as well. It'll work with the eaves as well. I can do the eaves with the trim. If I kept it like that, it'll keep like the cool little ridge. It's the dynamic variant, so it has the mud brick exposed up to it, which is nice. You can even mix and match styles if you wanted to. So you could do the birch next to the ebony if you wanted to play with colors that way. Really nice. Now, the last thing I want to show off, actually, it's just is the hatchet tool, which lets you get a little more control over picking exactly what you want for your style. So I can come in here and I could say turn this auto by holding right click into a fixed one you see at the top. And then as I single right click, it'll rotate it through the different selections for this size. You can really fine tune the selection you want for the roof. So if you want the lower slant, but you don't want it to be as far out, you can play around with that. You can have like this kind of elevated one. You can have like even higher elevated one if it's the style that you're going for. So yeah, I haven't played around too much with that because the hatchet tool just got fixed. But I'm sure there's definitely some cool use cases. This has been a Vintage Story mod showcase. If you liked what you saw, please check the description below for a link to get the mod for yourself. If you have any mods that you like or a mod creator yourself and would like to see a showcase for it, please leave a comment below with a link to or the name of the mod. If I end up liking it enough, I may end up making a showcase for it. Until next time, thanks for watching.